SimWorld presents Around the Table with E and the Fat Man.
What's up, everybody? It's me, it's the B.O.B., and I'm here with my man E. How are you doing today?
Hey, Bob, I'm doing all right in this first ever video version of Around the Horn.
Here we are, Around the Horn.
Oh boy, we got to restart.
Around the Horn.
That before we're restarting this episode.
We're good. We are good, E. We're good. Around the Horn, around the table. It don't matter. We're not getting sued. They don't know about us yet. Not yet. But this is Around the Table with E and the Fat Man. That is E. I am the Fat Man. This is the podcast that we talk about whatever we want. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about a tough subject, and I know there's some issues going on with Reigning Treys right now, but they're not the only team with issues. They're the only ones that seem to really be...
I thought you were going into politics. I thought you were going to go into politics for a second, Bob. I was worried.
I'm not a crook.
Avoiding that.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some of that dysfunction with Reigning Treys, and we're also going to talk about the playoffs.
Bob, before we get into all that, though, are we going to avoid the main topic, the thing people is on their minds right now as they watch this, which is that they're watching us, Bob?
They
are different. It's a new day.
It's a new day. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
That's why I got thrown and mistitled our own show. It's like, I'm in a whole new world here.
There you go.
New environment.
There you go. You'll get used to it. I promise you. But first, we'll see. So E, did you catch any of the little bit of dysfunction that is coming out with Reigning Treys? I know it brewed up a little bit earlier this season, but it seems to really be coming to a head right now.
Yeah, it seems like there is some conflict going on, Jimmy King and Coach Malik Ambar. Now, where I was, Bob, was actually just last night, or the other night, Friday night, watching Reigning Treys go down the coast to defeat Bay Area. And actually do it in comeback fashion and do it with Jafet Towns not going nuts. I mean, he was a big factor in the fourth quarter, but he didn't put up the nearly 30 points, which is about what he averages. So I was actually kind of impressed to see them rally. I think a team that's going through some tough spells and is having some internal dissent, I think it's very easy to see, we're losing by 5, we're losing by 7. Let's just wrap things up and get out of here. It's easy to kind of phone things in at that point. They didn't. So that impressed me. So that's my little positive comment there on the Treys. I can make negatives ones too, though, if you want, Bob.
I mean, if you want to, you could. If you want to, you could. I will say, obviously, everybody, this is the first time us doing this, so I will say I apologize for some technical difficulties. Obviously, E, you keep going black on me, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah. Well, they say once you do that, you don't go back. So,
but no, go. I a couple weeks ago, I know there were some issues with Jimmy King was frustrated with his usage, and I know one of his frustrations not only from his usage, but the vocality of his coach or the lack thereof. And that seems to. Okay. I know it sounds like a good word, right? It's like something you might. Something might be on Wordle or something like vocality. I made it up. I don't know.
I like it. No, I think it works.
But
I'm going to give it official word status.
I know. We'll start having a word of the day, and I'll just make one up for us. How about that?
Right.
It seems like Coach Ambar, at least to his players, not just Jimmy King, it seems like they're getting frustrated with the lack of communication. And Coach did respond to the players. And did say that he is more of a I'll say a silent killer. I can't remember the exact terms that he used, but he's more of a silent killer.
Okay,
and that's
cool.
It's cool it's cool if you're blowing teams out and you didn't start the season as bad as you did.
Yeah.
They're doing fine. They're doing okay right now. Obviously, Jafet Towns is playing like the second best player in all SimWorld prep. But at the end of the day, some of these players, they need a coach who is vocal. And I'd say the coaches that are the least vocal are the ones that stick around not as long. But what are your thoughts on that, E?
Well, so I agree with everything you're saying there. My criticisms of Coach Ambar would be that he shouldn't have let it got to this point. But, to his credit point would be, He's clearly, I think, trying to straighten that situation out, right? Trying to kind of, grab that bull by the horns and do it. So, it is a little bit of mix of credit and blame to throw around there a little bit. I will say this. I think that Reigning Treys are going to be a frustrating team all year long, no matter what kind of vibe check they have going on in the locker room. It's just kind of an oddly constructed team. It's there's not a lot of great passers on this team. There's some really good height. Travion Sherwood is a great shooter. Brandon Crawford, just 15 years old. He's 6'10". Of course, we all know about big Jason Crosser and what he can do at 7'2", and what he can't as well. And Jafet Towns, key to the whole thing. It bothers me a little bit that Jafet scores. Well, he was almost on 27 a game. He's still above 26 per game after that last relatively low output for him offensively. But this guy is also your leading assist man on the Treys, and it's kind of by a mile. I just sort of think if they had somebody. Boy, if they could trade Rocky Mountain for a Dink Pate, you know what I mean? Something like that. Or get another guy. I mean, Alex Rodriguez, I think, would look incredible on this team if you could get him down from Canada. But neither of those things are going to happen. They're going to have to make do with what they have. I just think if you watch them, they're a little kind of stifled. They're a little kind of static with their offense. Jafet and some of the big players are sometimes, talented enough to kind of overcome that. But at the end of the day, I think that's going to be their biggest tangible problem. And then, clearly there's a little bit of a situation, player-coach relationship management. I do believe that Malik Ambar has heard that message and is working on it. But here we are.
Yeah, I think the one thing that he really needs to worry about, though, is Jafet Towns' father is not happy about what has been going on there for the Reigning Treys. And, I mean, second best player in the world, or second best player in SimWorld, probably second best player in the world. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's up there with LeBron, I guess, right?
You're probably talking about his dad, Carl Anthony Towns, is where you're going to throw.
But no, I mean, you have to be a little concerned when dad is coming out of the woodworks of your best player on your team by far and isn't happy with the way that you're coaching.
I agree.
I get a little stuck on these situations because I believe that, I'm going to go to Jimmy King. I like Jimmy King a lot. I liked him last season. I really thought that he was going to do something big this year. He hasn't done anything huge or mind-blowing. I still think there's a chance for him to turn it around. I do sometimes...
He's also only 16, by the way. He has another SimWorld year coming.
He doesn't. I guarantee you that's not going to be with Reigning Treys. It's just a matter of who's going to pick him up.
Hey!
I don't know.
No, there's a long time. There's a long time between seasons. We'll see about that.
I think that... I do get stuck in the sometimes players just need to be quiet and play. But at some point, if you feel like your coach isn't hearing you or isn't talking to you, at some point, someone has to speak up. And it falls back. The player is the one but now the player's the bad guy because the player spoke up and the player's just supposed to shut up and play. And unfortunately, we get stuck. This is not the only coach that I feel like gives off the wrong tone. With some of these players. And I really think sometimes these coaches put themselves in these situations to have disgruntled players. It's real simple to keep your players happy, whether you're winning or losing. And it's just by the way you talk to them. If you want to act like you're some holier-than-thou person, go for it. You're not going to keep your players around for very long, especially if you're losing. But yeah, I mean... I hope that the Reigning Treys can get it figured out just because I like Jimmy King so much.
A lot of talent. Fun team to watch. Jafet's fun to watch. Yeah.
It is, and I'm still until the day I die, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be talking about what Jason Crosser could have been. As big as he is, he can shoot.
I know it.
He just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's a coaching thing. He just doesn't know how to use his big body. I don't know.
Jason Crosser could have been Josiah Cook if he was 4 inches shorter and 2 years younger, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, Let's do a little. Let's
Yes.
shift a little bit here. We got the SWFL, AFC, NFC championship games tomorrow. We got Ravens taking on the Chiefs. We got Lions taking on the 49ers. What do you got in those games? What are you looking forward to the most? Who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, so I don't know if I have a lot to look forward to here. I am I wear my fandom on my sleeve. People know I'm a Hoosier guy. I am also a Cowboys fan. Blame it how old I was. How old I was. I still am this old. The point of it being, I grew up in the Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, that kind of era when it got into my blood. So yes, don't hate me too much if you hate the Cowboys, and I understand plenty of people do. But the reason I bring this whole thing up is because I'm left with not too much of anybody to root for outside of the Detroit Lions, who, I'm not a Lions fan. I just don't have anything against them because they've been terrible for so long. So how can you, right? No reason to resent them. Unlike the 49ers, who I kind of hate. But they're going to win. I don't see. I'm impressed with Detroit. I'm impressed with what Dan Campbell's done there. Head man in charge, the coach of the Lions. But at the end of the day, going out here to sunny California to take on the 49ers with that defense. Deebo Samuel, by the way, was a risk of missing this game, but
Yep.
it was announced over the weekend. He is indeed going to play. I think that's big for them. I'm a huge Deebo fan. They just have too much, and I think that the Lions ride, which has been pretty sweet, ends here. So San Francisco advancing, and then on the other side of the bracket, I just kind of have a feeling like, look, I'm not even going to try to explain this too much. I'm just going to say it. I think that the Ravens are the better team, and the Ravens are playing at home. That's an advantage too. And somehow I think the Chiefs are going to win the damn game. So I don't know if I can justify it. I don't know if I can put any logic behind it, but I think that's what's going to happen. I just somehow see Kansas City coming out on top on the road there, and setting up a San Francisco, Kansas City Super Bowl, which is actually, if I was the NFL commissioner, I would be pretty happy with the way that's worked out.
Yeah.
You definitely have two marquee teams, and you keep Taylor Swift involved, and that's important too. So, and by the way, hey, let me throw in one last thought before I kick it over to you, Dan, the show with your football chat. But there's a lot of Taylor backlash out there. And it's not that I'm a Taylor fan or I love her music. I don't hate her either. I don't hate any of it. I'm just kind of indifferent to her. But like, I think it's fun. I don't get what the problem is. I don't see how some people have, clutching their pearls or whatever they're doing because Taylor Swift's in a skybox cheering her boyfriend on. I think it's great. And I think it's great the additional sort of demographic influx you're seeing with people. I love the whole thing. I love that it's a story. I don't get the Taylor hate. And I think she's going to be making a Super Bowl appearance. She should probably do a halftime show at some point. She is that big. I can't think of a bigger artist out there right now. But maybe this will be her warm-up introduction as we'll get her to the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl that I see coming down the pike. But maybe you see it differently, Bob. What you got?
Well, so you say you don't know a bigger star out there. I think Bazaar's pretty big. He's pretty big around.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can think of anybody.
In the Big Bob
maybe,
household.
Maybe
In the Big
Earthquake.
Bob
I don't know.
household, yes.
Earthquake, something like that. I don't know. But anyways, no, I don't really have an issue with it. I don't really. I get people are, oh, it's football. Keep it. Like it's just, it's entertainment. It's entertainment.
No,
And I think people forget
yeah,
that
get over
ESPN.
yourself.
Yeah,
Come on.
I think that people forget that because like some of the biggest places out there, like ESPN, they focus on her. All these places, they're not just sports reporting. We're not just reporting sports. We're reporting entertainment. Sports is entertainment.
Yes.
At the end of the day, some people
Culture
people even think sports are scripted. I don't know. They're a little crazy, but whatever they want to do. But to jump onto the with the NFC and AFC championship game, I want to say something crazy is going to happen, and we're going to have a Lions Ravens Super Bowl or something like that. I've learned don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. And again, it's still the Lions. It's still the Lions.
Yeah.
They've had a magical run this year. Absolutely had a magical run this year. As a Vikings fan, we're not in the playoffs. I'm not mad. I wish the Lions would go on and win a Super Bowl. I mean,
I
yeah.
know.
Hold on,
Me
hold
too.
on. I got to think about that now because I don't want them to have never been to a Super Bowl and winning their first one, and we're 0-4. I don't know. I don't know if I would be okay with that. But no, there's just nothing to.
Oh, Bud Grant.
There's nothing really not to like about the Lions.
Yep.
But
Except for the fact they're not going to win.
except for the fact that they're not going to win. I mean, unless
Yeah.
there's stories on every side that I would love to see Brock Purdy get himself a Super Bowl ring. Just with what they went through last season,
It'd be fun.
they might have had one last year if he wouldn't have gotten hurt, and then they were down to their
Yep.
13th emergency quarterback in that NFC Championship game last year, and still had a chance.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
But yeah, as long as Purdy, you said with Debo coming back, him being healthy, I can't see the 49ers losing this game at
No.
all. But the same on the other side. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, with who? Go ahead. No. That's what I'm waiting for.
No,
The big
I was
reveal
just
on the
saying,
AFC side.
I just the Ravens have a very, very good chance to do it.
So good. Such a good team.
I
No weaknesses.
I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes.
Listen, oh my gosh. I know. Look at you. To quote Lenny Kravitz, "Are you going to go my way?" And you are, Bob. Look at this. You're pulling the same prediction I am, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I
Wasn't
just
planned, folks.
I can't go against him because he shouldn't, with the talent that they have on offense right now, they shouldn't be here, but they are. I know a lot of people, including myself, wanted to see what he would do when his offensive core, when Eric Bieniemy, I can never say his last name, whatever, but we'll just say a bunch of Bieniemy. When Eric left to be the offensive coordinator of the Commanders,
The enemy.
there you go. I really wanted to see, like, did he help make Patrick Mahomes, or is Patrick Mahomes really this good? You can probably just plug him in wherever. Not saying that I'm not saying anything crazy happened with Mahomes. Two things happened. Eric showed that he can turn a okay quarterback into a decent quarterback, at least statistically, because Sam Howell, did he lead the league? Did he lead the league in passing yards? I think for a while there he
I
was.
have to check on that. It was Dak with TDs. I'm sure of that one. We can check that one. Look.
I
Here's
think
the thing: the Commanders weren't great, but Sam Howell was decent. Howell was decent, and you do have to give Bieniemy some credit for that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes has also elevated who they have now. I mean, you have a rookie receiver, I think, is their top receiver. He made him look very, very good.
Rice.
On top of that, yeah, I mean, they got Kelsey. He doesn't blow your mind statistically with yards or anything like that, but he's going to get you the
and they're in. Well, I was going to say, and they're in an AFC Championship game in spite of having Kadarius Toney. So overcoming that handicap is massive too.
Hey, he's the perfect Madden wide receiver, though. You get the fastest players on the field, you get him out there, you're going to Super Bowl every time. But yeah, I mean, I wish he would figure out. I really thought he'd be a decent player out of Florida, but the drops are.
I did too, actually.
The drops are absolutely
it's sort of a Dorial Green Beckham thing going on. I think it's happening above the shoulder level, but anyway.
Yeah. Let's not talk about all
below the neck, all the talents there. Anyway, yes, the regrets of college stars. Well, it's true.
Just because we're talking Justin Blackmon, I had such high hopes for Justin Blackmon coming out of Oklahoma State, and he just don't drink. Don't smoke weed. Just don't. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You came onto the field and you were as a rookie you played as a top 10 receiver, but you just couldn't let your demons go. But hey, that's
nope.
I also never played in the NFL, so whatever.
Well, hey.
But so we both got 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl. We won't make our predictions here for that though. We'll save that for another one.
Let's hold on to that one. And I think we've done pretty good for our first ever video show. I'm learning lessons all the time. As we've been recording, the sun has been setting, and I see that my feed's getting dark. So maybe we should wrap this up.
Like I said, I'm gonna have to throw like a technical difficulty sticker over yours. I haven't seen you since like the first 3 minutes. So you've been missing on mine.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Fair enough. All right.
We'll figure
see
it
how
all
this
out.
went. Hey, folks, it gets better. Version 1.0 is never that great. It gets better. Don't worry.
Well, do you have any final words for the people?
Hope you all are looking forward to watching some playoff football. It should be good. And remember that we're taking a little break on SimWorld TV, but coming back with live games Thursday of next week, February 1st. We'll see you then.
Thursday or is it Wednesday? Now you got me a little.
I'll check that while you say your goodbyes, Bob. I thought it was Thursday, but I can look that up.
Make sure. I think there's a 4-day week, but yeah, we appreciate you guys as always.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, there we go.
No.
What?
No. Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday there's a game on ESPN too.
There you go.
That's what it
so
is.
you're
But
right.
SimWorld TV comes back.
SimWorld TV will be back on Thursday. Well, as always, everybody, we
We
appreciate
were
you
both
listening,
right.
and we hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
See you, folks.